Discounts and markups, and this is for Mrs. Redford's 7th grade math class, both standard and advanced. Just a reminder before we get started that you can stop or pause this video as much or as little as you would like. It's up to you. And make sure that you take some notes, and we will discuss this a little bit more tomorrow when you come into class. Okay, so when we talk about discounts, discounts are a decrease in the original price of an item. And this really is just one of those things that we use every day in our life, because discounts have to do with things being on sale, whether or not we're getting a good deal when we go into the store and we use coupons. These are all discounts because they're taking the original price and they're decreasing it. Now, we also, when we talk about discounts, we go ahead and talk about markups as well. Markups are the increase from what a store pays to the selling price. So again, this is something that we use in everyday life, because when we go to Publix and we buy, let's say, a candy bar, well, Publix has to buy the candy bar from, say, Nestle, okay, which is the manufacturer. They're the people that make it. They have to buy the candy bar from Nestle, but then they have to turn around and sell it to us. Well, if they sold it to us for the same price, then they wouldn't make any money and they wouldn't be able to stay in business. So they have to mark it up and make their money off of it. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit further in depth and how to find discounts and markups. All right, so we're going to use the percent equation, and we're actually missing something right there on that percent equation. So let me get it up there real quick. Uh-oh, this is going to be in my way. All right, so we're going to call this A equals P times W, and let me kind of do some examples before we get too confused here. All right, so when we're finding a discount, I'm going to give you the example of the original price of a pair of jeans is $42. They are discounted 15%. What is the sale price? Well, when we look at this, we know that it's going to be 42 minus that 15%. But first we need to find what 15% is. So we solve this by putting A equals, and I know my computer screen's kind of going crazy on you guys. I don't know what's going on today. So I'm sorry. So A equals the percent, which is 15. So we're going to put 0.15 times W. So what it's 15% of, in this case, it's $42. And I'm going to put this in parentheses so I don't get confused. Okay. So in our calculators, we're going to put 0.15 times 42, and that comes out to 6.3. And since we're talking dollars, it's going to be $6.30. Okay? Now, here's the thing. The $6.30 is not what the pair of jeans is going to cost you. That's how much you're getting off of the pair of jeans. So when we're finding a sale price, so this leads us into finding a sale price, we're going to find the sale price by taking the original price and subtracting the discounted price. We said the original price down here is $42, so we're going to take $42 and we're going to subtract the discounted price. Now this was my $6.30. So we're going to take 42 and subtract $6.30, and that's going to come out to a total of $35.70. It came out to 35.7 in my calculator, but we're talking money, so we know we have to have two decimal places. So it's 35.70, so it's $35.70. That is the sale price. That's how much the pair of jeans is going to cost you. All right, so let's talk about finding the original price of something. Say we know what the sale price is. We know how much it's going to cost us now, but we want to know how much it was in the beginning. All right, so in this scenario, we have a pair of shoes that is 40% off. The selling price after it's discounted, so this is how much you're going to pay, is $33. We want to find out what the original price of the shoes is. We want to know if we're getting a good deal as opposed to maybe another store that has them 50% off or 30%, something different. Okay, this is how we can find out if we're getting a good deal or not. So what we do in this case is we take that 100% and we subtract the sale percentage, which is 40%. So we take 100 and we subtract 40% and we're left over with 60%. So 60% is the original price of the pair of shoes. Okay, so that's our very first step. Now we're going to plug this in to our formula, A equals P times W. Now in this case, we know the discounted price. So we know the discounted price is $33. The percent that we're paying for is 0.6 because that's 60% as a decimal. And we're going to multiply that by W, and I don't know what we're paying 60% of, so I'm going to leave that as a W. Now, to solve for W, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.6. These cancel each other out, and in my calculator, I'm going to put 33 divided by 0.6 equals 55. So W equals 55. I now know that the original price of the shoes is $55. And again, we're talking price, so let's make sure we put our dollar sign and decimal point and places over there. All right, so now let's talk about our last example. We're going to talk about how to find a selling price. So this is when we're talking a little bit about markup. Okay, a store pays $70 for a bicycle. The percent of markup is 20%. What is the selling price? So first we need to find the markup. Okay, the markup is 20% of $70. So let's write that in there. Is 20% of $70. And I plug this into my formula, A equals P times W. And I want to find out what amount is 20% of $70. Okay, so I take 70 times 0.20 and I come up with A equals 14. So now that we know that A equals 14, we know how much it is marked up. But that's not what, we're not going to pay $14 for it. The store wouldn't make their money back. Okay? So next, we're going to find the selling price. So now we're going to take the cost of the store, which is $70. We know that. And we're going to add the markup, which you just said, or I just said, but you worked it out with me, hopefully, is $14. And we're going to come up with our selling price. 70 plus 14, put it in your calculator if you need to, is going to come up to $84. So we know that our price is $84. All right, so that's all that we have for tonight. So I will see you tomorrow and we will talk about this.